Hello and welcome back to PopCulture X as we are working our way through the list, the ever-growing mega list of lists, and
The
we
ever
are
expanding list of lists.
exactly.
Although I
So
guess that's why we're here, isn't it? We're trying to redress that balance and shrink
yes,
that list down a little bit.
so we are listening to Voice of Braceport, PMS. I have no idea. All I know is this was in one of the Japanese band comments. So it got chucked in the list from there. What it is, who it is, how it goes, no idea.
So I just did a
Going
little
cold.
sneaky look at the Wikipedia page for the
Ooh.
band. Indonesian all female rock trio. And always like a little bit uncertain of pronunciations in the pronunciation part of Wikipedia, but I believe the way they've got it on here would be Baceprot. Baceprot?
Okay.
Yeah, Baceprot. But yeah, I think this is certainly on the channel going to be the first time we've done Indonesian music. And do you know what? And without googling, I'm not sure whether I've ever listened to an Indonesian band before.
I'm trying to think.
None strike out, but
I think I might have listened to an Indonesian punk band or two when I was going on the whole weird punk stuff from around the world a few years ago, but couldn't remember who or what. I think it was just one of those of it was in a random East Asian punk music playlist thing, and I was like,
yeah,
interesting
yeah.
to hear stuff from different countries, sort of thing. But yeah, no idea or what we're
Well,
gonna get here, which is
it
quite
was kind of
nice.
like one of the things, yeah, for the idea of this, wasn't it, was to try and find not only new bands to us, but new bands from around the world, which hopefully open the door to other bands in countries that wouldn't normally come in front of us. So, and I'm just having a quick look now. I don't again, Google is your friend. I put Indonesian bands, and it's given me like kind of 42 bands, and I'll be honest, I don't recognise the names of any of them. So yeah, I honestly do think this will be my first time out in the world of Indonesian music and an Indonesian rock trio to boot.
Yes. We'll say because when we loaded the video up, because to get ready, it did say about photosensitivity. So we too
Yes,
will tell you this is potentially going to have flashing images.
yes, yeah, and I think presumably it will play it again when I press play on the video. But yes, just to be aware, I might want to be careful watching this one. Right, shall we go in and see what it's all about, Alfie?
It shall.
Right, let's do this.
Standing in the arms of your mind is killing all my time. Your loud dogma is just a ruse to shackle all the fools.
So, first trip to Indonesia, how did you find it?
I like that. That's definitely more obviously rock than metal, which surprised me they're on at
Yeah,
Vakken. But fuck, good on Vakken for putting these sort of bands on. So in fact, is one of the biggest metal festivals in the world. For that, it's really catchy. I was trying to sort of follow on with the lyrics because obviously the lyrics are at the bottom of the screen. The
yeah,
one thing I do love about a
yeah,
lot of the Asian bands is they will put the English translation at the bottom. But because I was sort of grooving out a little bit sometimes,
yeah.
I
Same,
was I
same.
was missing
And I was tracking back
translation.
in for the odd line and going, "Ooh, I feel like I should have read the preceding lines for this because there feels like there's some sort of chunk and some deeper sort of social messaging in some of the lyrics
Yeah,
that are coming on in there. But yeah, I'll go with you and maybe we'll pick it up a little bit of it. But yeah, unfortunately, I got caught up a bit in the song as well. So yeah, I think some of that passed me by.
yeah,
Also, realizing that I had, and I know it was on the video, but I like to have a lyrics thing up at the side anyway. And realizing a quarter of the way through that my lyrics were only translated for the first verse, so I kind of panicked, tried to get another translation, forgetting that they were showing on the video. But yeah, musically really interesting, isn't it? I think the
yeah.
first couple of minutes. There was something going on there. And when I say there was something going on there, like young me didn't listen in music class, so kind of have no formative like music background and terminology. I think I was too busy trying to avoid the board rubber that my psychotic music teacher would like to throw at our heads. But it was doing some really kind of, I would say, pleasantly unsettling things where
Mm,
um, the kind of rhythm of the drums and there was sort of some quite stark stops on beats that you wouldn't expect it to, and
yeah,
it was really catching me early.
yeah. There is some definite offbeat playing,
Yeah.
especially with the bass.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Usually the
So
bass
when the
and
drum was
drums
doing it, yeah, the bass
together.
was then doing its bit on the offbeat as well. Yep, I'm with you.
But yeah, and I'm always for a funky bass solo.
Yeah,
Get stick them in my veins. I love me a bass solo. But yeah, it reminds me of if you took the funk out of someone like early Chili Peppers or Faith No More, and then just sort of put it through like a radio rock band that a lot of the sort of the stuff that they play on a download on a Sunday, sort of that's
yeah.
non-offensive radio rock stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I do like this.
I think
Definitely more.
this will be played quite a few times probably tomorrow on my walk to work and my walk home from work. I kind of want to hear it more, which is a real, lovely if you hear someone, it's an absolute slam dunk. Oh, best song
Yeah.
ever, that sort of stuff. But I think with this one, there was enough there to make me go, yeah, I want to hear more of this song and then more and then other songs. Like I kind of
Yeah.
want to dig into this one a little bit more. Singing wise, there were obviously I think there was quite a variation of what they were doing vocally throughout the
Mm.
song, and sometimes like kind of all the way to pop. I think it had lots of swings in it, but none of them did I dislike. Like I think there were some bits which I think I preferred vocally, but yeah, if you're
Mm.
going to jump around musically, so if you're going to jump into like kind of you'd say like the kind of slap bass funk part of it and things like that, then why wouldn't you jump around a bit vocally as well? But yeah, I think on further listens, I'm quite interested to key into a bit more about what the lyrics are actually saying to us and maybe focusing on the voice a little bit because yeah, it was all musically for me. Like that music was really
Mm.
grabbing me, and I think I said it earlier, kind of disconcerting, but in a good way. It was almost
Yeah.
making me. I hope I didn't, but it was also like my head wanted to kind of go like that, as if that makes me hear better if I got closer to something. But because I was going, oh, am I hearing that right? And yeah, we said it before in certain other bands. I think we are both suckers to a degree for people who don't want to just stay in the lane. They
Yeah.
don't want to just kind of go, here's my verse, here's my chorus, rinse and repeat. And I think certainly from this first outing, they don't seem like a band that are going to subscribe to that at all. If anything, I mean, I don't know where this is on there because we said we know nothing about them. I don't know where this is, if this is like later on in their career or an early song or something like that. But either
And so
way, I feel like there'll be more.
I do know this came at the back end of last year as a video,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
obviously makes sense because it was a lot of the footage is from back end from last year.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm going to imagine that if they're at the point where they're playing back and they're going to have some stuff behind them to be getting booked at a festival like that, you're not doing that off an EP or
I just
very
had the
little.
realization that I said earlier I'd opened the Wikipedia page for him, so there's us kind of guessing. And I've just done the illogical thing of opening the Wikipedia page, and formed in 2014. So they've got what, like 9 years ish under their belt now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also the shift. So the partially it being sung in English and parts of it being sung in Sudanese, and of course that does mean for if you don't speak the language, like kind of having to go with translations. But I quite liked it. It didn't feel unsettling at all. The transition. In fact, if anything, it was pleasurable. But yeah, yeah, big fan, and
Yes.
I think going to be even more of a fan when I listen to it more.
Yes. So if you've listened to any more VOB down there, other songs of
Yeah.
them, other songs similar or bands similar from Indonesia or anywhere else around the world, because as we know, we will quite happily listen to anything from anywhere. So yeah, comments down there as always. YouTubey things like subscribe, ring bells, and
Oh
all
yeah,
that sort of jazz.
that stuff. That
And
stuff.
it said if you have suggestions, put them down there, and they can get on the ever growing list. And until next time, goodbye.